Hey, welcome to my channel. Today, I want to talk about 3 experiences that I've had over the last 60 days as a reseller. Number 1, what I've sold and what I'm selling. Number 2, how do I keep learning? And number 3, what keeps me motivated? Although I bought and sold things in the past, one thing has changed is the space that I have. I've had a new building built and it allows me to be able to search out new items, maybe at a different size, maybe at a different capacity that I wasn't able to previously. Over the last 60 days, I've had 11 sales. The 90-day total only from March 15th was $968. I made a total of $792.20 after eBay fees. The average cost of goods was $12.45. The total cost of my goods was $137. The net profit was $655. Between the 2 months, I made a total of $327.60. Now, my experience with figuring out what to sell, for most resellers, this can vary on what you like. Most resellers have some sort of knowledge, passion, or background. Me, I have mid-knowledge on most everything. So everything I pick up in the stores, I'm scanning. And what I've found is that over time, as I've continued to scan the items, I become more understanding of what it is that I want to find. So I'm no longer picking up items that I have before in the past. So I just continue to keep scanning and learning and finding. I want to give you a tip on finding items. Number 1, you want to be flexible. In 2021, I sold clothes, but what I've found is that the clothes is not necessarily going to be my bread and butter going forward. I've transitioned into smaller electronics, gaming systems, and shoes, because what I found is that with those items, there's a higher average selling profit. Really, you can sell anything, but has to be a need and the price has to be right. On a side note, space is extremely important if you're a beginner reseller. And it will also play in a factor on what type of items you want to pick up and buy and sell. Unfortunately, in 2020 and 2021, whenever I was selling a few clothes here and there, I used one of my boys' rooms, and my youngest son and my oldest son shared rooms. Now they were younger then, and it worked out, but I knew that wasn't going to last long, so I had to make changes, and that's the reason why I had this building built. Number 2, how do I keep learning? One of the ways that I keep learning is I listen to some of the experienced sellers on YouTube. I learn the products that you see from their videos, and I see what they're selling the items for. But also keep in mind that the selling cost and what you actually make after all the fees and taxes and things like that are a lot different. So you have to keep that in mind when you're out looking. You can't look at an item and say, okay, I've seen this item sell for $45, so I want to pay $30 for it and I'll make $15. It doesn't work that way. You wouldn't want to buy the item for more than around $7 to $12 so that you can make 100% profit on it. That would make it profitable for you. Also, go to thrift stores daily. If you have the opportunity, be able to go to the thrift stores daily, do that. I have a thrift store, I have a Goodwill that's near my location, so normally after work I'll get off work and I'll drive up to the Goodwill and I'll search out the items and just spend time in there, about 30-45 minutes a day. And that's whenever I've been able to find the items. The cool thing about the small electronics is that a lot of those things, sometimes they get overlooked by the Goodwill workers, where shoes they know that they're going for. Tip number 3. Where do I find my motivation? So knowing your motivation is very important. Why do you want to be a reseller? You want to ask yourself this. Do you have an entrepreneur spirit? Do you like the idea of running a business? Because that's what you're going to be doing as a reseller. Is it about the money? If it is about the money, you want to set a goal. Is it fun? If it's fun and you want to make it your hobby to fill some extra time that you have, that can also be important. And number 3, do you enjoy the product? And also, do you enjoy the product and love the idea of making someone else happy because you've been able to provide them that? And whenever you get a good review, it gives you that joy. All of those things come into play whenever I'm thinking about the reasons why I like to resell. And a lot of resellers have the same passion and motivation. So you want to ask yourself those questions and find out your motivation behind why you think you want to be a reseller, or if you're a current reseller, just kind of think about that for a little bit. Knowing your motivation can determine your success and the size you want to scale your business. If you know this is just a short-term thing so that you can pay for a vacation, then you're only going to do it for short term. But if you think you want to do this long-term, which is where I'm at right now, and the reason why I built the building, and the reason why I'm 60 days in, and I'm telling you my story about my 60-day journey, I know my motivation. And it helps me determine my goal. It helps me shoot for my goal. And it helps me to stay motivated on each step and every day and every process that it takes to be a reseller. At the end of the day, I want to give you this extra little point. Be ready to do some work. Reselling is not easy, and you have to make sure that you're having fun with it. Also, you shouldn't listen to me because I'm only figuring this out. Technically, I would consider myself a beginner reseller. I'm 60 days into it. And one thing I do know is that if I know nothing, then I can learn everything. Or I can learn anything, not everything. I don't think I can learn everything. But if I know nothing, then I can learn anything. But if I know everything, then I have no room to learn or grow. So I hope you've enjoyed my video today. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next episode. And remember, always stay comfy.